Jehovah's Witnesses have amazed people in many countries throughout the world by the way they have been able to erect kingdom halls in very quick time. In many cases, just one weekend with only volunteers. This is accomplished by tight planning, using hundreds of volunteers all working together on specific jobs. On the 17th of January 1987, part of the Brisbane Quick Build team assembled here at Durack to erect another Kingdom Hall. Although some of the framework was erected prior to this weekend, the main structure was planned to be erected over the next 2 weekends. The extra weekend was needed because the design incorporated an existing Kingdom Hall. The original hall took some 2 years to build and was completed and dedicated in 1960. The original congregation was known as the Oxley Congregation, and here we see some of the original Oxley congregation, several of whom are now in the Durack congregation. When it was completed in late 1960, the hall looked a little bare. Freeman Road was then only a dirt road, and there was no curbing and channeling. But over the years, gardens were planted, paths and a driveway were made, the road was sealed, and when the jacarandas were in flower, it looked quite a picture. Although the original hall is to be incorporated within the new one, unfortunately the beautiful jacarandas had to go. And so on Friday the 12th of September 1986, a team of brothers rather reluctantly moved in to fell these beautiful jacaranda trees that have stood here some 35 years. When these jacarandas were planted, I'm sure the brothers never foresaw this happening some 35 years later to make way for a bigger Kingdom Hall. The strength of these machines is quite amazing. Look at the way these big trees are pushed over, picked up and shaken to remove the excess soil, then carried away and put on a pile. The machine, or should I say the driver, Brother Len Teresi, is even polite enough to clean up after him. Next morning, a crowd of brothers and sisters turned up to remove the debris. Debris of all sizes were removed, from big logs to little chips. Even the existing gardens were removed and taken to the dump on trailers by the sisters. The shed at the back of the property had been used as a storage shed by the circuit for many years, but now it was to be remodeled to become a residence. But first it needed to be cleaned out. Well, with the jacarandas gone, it wasn't long before the earth movers moved in with their big bulldozers and leveled the block in preparation for the 1987 Durack Kingdom Hall. But before anything else happens to this site, let's have one last look at the old Kingdom Hall and surrounds. The finished hull will look a little different to our model contribution box. And even from the artist's impressions seen here. But then the work started in earnest, as we saw father and son, husband and wife, brother and sister, all working joyously together on the new Kingdom Hall. The foundations were dug, then the reinforcements were put in and tied together. I'm not sure if the reinforcing steel was extra tough or the bolt cutters extra blunt, but this looks like hard work. Some people put it on, don't they? Then the cement trucks moved in to pour the foundations. These vibrating machines certainly help to bed down the foundations, don't they? Brother Bill Hauser found out how heavy they can become. I wonder how this little vibrator would be on your back. Oops! Forget it. Well, with the foundation poured on the 29th of September, the slab was poured on the 6th of October. From now on, every weekend will be taken up with work on the Durack Hall. Several brothers also worked on site during the week.